Good morning and welcome to ARLTV. This is ARLTV's V8 SuperCar Championship. We are at round 16, Watkins Glen Cup Circuit. The race today is brought to you by yours truly from Epic Racing TV and Andrew Woodhouse, my co-commentator.
Hello mate, good morning.
Good morning,
Great to
buddy.
be back for V8.
Yeah, we've missed a couple of weeks, but we're back, so apologies to that. See, World Championship commitments stopping me from running, but we've got a break this week, so I'm able to get in the box and broadcast. Just like to give a quick shout out to the sponsors nice and early while the guys have got about 6 minutes left of quali. So main sponsor for the championship, Pagnini and Imports. Big shout out and thanks to those. Obviously giving away wheel stand as part of this championship. Next season I believe we've got a rig to give away as well, so we'll keep an eye out for that, for the details for the end of the season. Let's not forget Kimmy Drill Fencing, Mark Noble, thanks for organising everything. Taking a little step back for most of the plan-do action of the league, but still very much around. As well as a new sponsor as well that we haven't seen on the V8 series, Sim Garage. Go check them out if you're interested in button boxes, things like that, simgarage.com. Don't forget to follow us on the social media at Apex Racing TV for Twitter and ARLTV on Facebook. Right, Woody. Now that the usual stuff's all done and dusted.
Yep.
Back in the box. The old V8s.
Raring to go.
We've got a bit of a gem today. Always a bit of an exciting race is the Cup Circuit at Watkins. These V8s. I remember last season here, all hell broke loose in the first lap with some rather big names who we won't point out, but
who should know better?
Yeah,
who is what we're saying really.
They caused absolute mayhem, didn't they? So
yes, it's the classic circuit today, so no chicane. It's the Cup Circuit without the chicane. So the run down to the carousel is very much the same as on the full circuit. However, the carousel itself on the Cup Circuit, of course, it's a little bit tighter, a bit longer. So guys need to be careful not to go barreling in there too fast. You can have quite a big accident still on the outside, can't you?
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Leeds has got a couple of good overtaking positions this layout, especially with this car as well. So should make for some good racing. Adrian Stratford's provisionally pole position. Obviously, we just caught a glimpse of Adrian on the last broadcast we did. Looked very, very quick.
Yep.
Where was that? Was that Laguna? I'm trying to remember now, but he was really hammering in.
It was Laguna, I think. He started at the back, and he finished second, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the guys, as far as the championship is concerned, we're keeping an eye on Tobias Cherney, Trevor Johnson, Tommy Cumper. Those are the three that really are battling it out there. Obviously, we've got a couple of drop rounds to take into consideration, so but it's going to be close. I think come towards the end of the championship, but Tobias, he's got his nose out in front at the minute. He's looking good. Yeah,
we haven't got a great deal of rounds left, so again, it's all about avoiding the crashes, avoiding DNFs. And making sure you're there at the end, because anything can happen in this championship, and it has done for most of this season. So, well, one thing I have seen this season though is the leaders, most of the championship contenders, haven't really been getting involved in too much trouble, which is why they're so far in front. I think it's a lot different to last year, isn't it? Where it was, last year it was anybody's really, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's right. Is the guys at the front seem to be qualifying well and keeping out of all of the trouble, finishing in top fives regularly, and this is what's making a difference. Is the consistency that's just brought them, far out in front of the rest. Just have a look at Justin putting in a qualifying lap down the back straight, using a slipstream of the car there to good effect. Obviously sister teams, so working well together.
Yeah, this is one of your favourite tracks, mate. What's the key? What's the main difficulty that this track presents? I mean, on paper, if you look at the layout, you'd laugh at it and go, "Oh, that's easy." But what makes this track difficult to nail down on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, the most tricky things is the curbs really here. They can upset the car quite a lot. You've got to attack them. This is the thing. So, but you attack them just in the wrong place, and you know you get a kick the curbs on the inside. As Mark Noble just goes straight on it first time. Yeah, you just catch them wrong on the inside. You can find yourself running wide, getting onto the grass, and the Armco is so close here. There's no real room for error. So you make a mistake, you're normally in the wall. So race over as far as it goes there. You get too wide, a little bit of rubbing, you're likely to put your opponent into the wall. So that's the main tricks really with this track is you need to be quick, you need to be smooth, you need to avoid smacking the curbs hard. That's going to upset the car, and most importantly, you need to avoid the walls.
I know we've said this on a lot of our broadcasts before from this track itself, but very much a street circuit feel, isn't it? With the walls so close, and that sort of pressure to not make mistakes for that reason. I mean, and you can see on some of the corners like the carousel, there's about a foot of runoff area, foot of grass, and then you're in the barrier. So these guys are going to have to watch out, especially on the first few laps. It's very tight up in that top section, isn't it? The S's going up the hill, so and for this car especially, the guys are going to have to just exercise a bit of caution, I think, aren't they, when it all shuffles out?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just saw Will Dodd there going into the wall coming out of the carousel. That could be...
And the spin from Justin Allen coming out of the pit lane as he just gets on the gas for the first time.
That's going to be the interesting part going into this first corner, really, I think, is going to be the exit. Obviously, turn one, the exit of, is going to be scary. Always is, doesn't matter what car you're in, how much care you take. There's just so little room there once you get sort of... Well, we're going to have 16 cars trying to filter in there. But coming out of the carousel as well, it's so easy to get your twitch on, and yeah, that's where we saw the big one last season.
Yeah, hopefully the driving will be a bit today than what it was before, but you know, I think the drivers know what's expected. They know what at this important point in the championship, not to do anything stupid. And can you pick anybody out who you think's got a good chance of winning today, or a good chance of doing better than what maybe expected?
Well, I think you got to look at the top two provisionally. If we just take a quick look at the grid and bring it up, Adrian Stratford and Trevor Johnson just look to be the few tenths of a second ahead of the rest of them, so I'd expect those guys to have a really good ding-dong battle. Tobias Cherney and Justin, nice to see Justin on the grid and competing. Justin's always been really quick round here as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him coming through, trying to have a run for the lead later on in the race. Dave Oliver in 5th, always really consistent. Michael Middleton, Jason Scandalora, and Justin Allen in 8th. Romer Alcala up in 9th place. Nice to see Romer up there. A little bit off the pace looking at the time. But yeah, I think as the guys that are going to compete, I think the top 4 really could have a shot here.
Yeah, we should have 18 starters to take the green light momentarily. We're about a minute or two away from that. It's going to be interesting actually seeing Adrian starting at the front, because of course he started at the back last time we saw him, and he still finished second, so I think the guys at the front are going to have a job on to try to beat him, if I'm honest. But Johnson and Cherney, well, they're regulars here. Hopefully they can say this is my territory and try to, well, maybe stop the newcomer from taking his first win. Only half a tenth between Stratford and Johnson, Alex, on the times, so close competition for pole it was, and like I said, 4 or 5 drivers who could be amongst the winners with the podium places, definitely.
Yeah, I think anyone could, there's quite a few drivers that can have a shot for top 5. Let's see what happens for the race. I mean, it's going to be important those first few laps. I think if we get a big one, that really could shake it up a bit.
I have no skins, so I have no idea who's who. Excellent. It's a 1 hour race today, as normal with the V8 supercars. So, again, it is a fast track. It is a track where there's going to be good racing, there's going to be close action. But guys still need to remember it's a long race. Anything can happen, so you keep it clean for the first few laps. We've seen some monumental crashes, haven't we, Alex? After pile-ups coming out of turn 1 as well. Remember the IndyCar Series race here that we did?
Oh god, the Indy. Oh yeah, I remember that. The IndyCar was immense.
As we're not far away at all from the start of this race. So the revs are rising.
Green, green, green.
The green light is on now at Watkins Glen. And we're away. Adrian Stratford. Trevor Johnson leads them down to the first corner. Up the inside is Tobias Cherney. Stratford was, I think he just glitched away. I think he's having some connection issues. I can't see him on my screen.
No, I can't see him either as well. You've got Justin taking the lead, Tobias in second.
He's in the lead, but I think I'm not sure how long he'll stay there for. Unless if he disconnects. Now Johnson's down to 4th. It looks like Dijan Domenico is up to 2nd.
Yeah, he's going to take it around the outside. Nice move.
Battling with Cherney. Championship leader, of course. Now then, Cherney can have a go back at the end of this straight. There's Stratford, look. He appeared and he's gone.
Yeah, big time issues there. It's going to concern people like Justin. They really don't know where he is.
It might have been Dave Oliver going wide. Forgive me if I get any of the names wrong. I've got the wrong paint schemes, unfortunately. Down to turn 1 goes. Well, it's Dijan Domenico, like I said, but Stratford is still leading apparently. Oh no, he's not. He's gone now. He's disconnected. So big problems there for Adrian Stratford. So we're not going to see him challenge for the win today. The veteran of this series, Justin.
Yeah, we just lost him from TeamSpeak as well. So it looks like his race is well and truly over.
Yeah, Justin's a veteran of this series, but down the inside into the carousel comes Tobias Cherney. Got the inside line. And he hold it on the bottom and get a good drive out of there. That's the thing with the carousel, Alex. It's quite cambered, so Justin could get a good run out. He had a bit of a twitch in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, he's coming under pressure from Johnson here.
Johnson on the outside. John Domenico covers the inside line. Not very close as we expected at this point.
One thing I love about this track and this layout is that you do get a bit of a train effect going on where the guys just follow suit.
Yeah, great slipstream in action here. As well, if you get that turn 1 wrong, Alex, it can ruin your lap completely.
Oh, completely. You saw Justin just get a little twitch on there, and he's going to come under a lot of pressure here.
And not just from Johnson either. It might be from Oliver and from Middleton as well. Within a couple of seconds, it's top 5. Cherney leads by over a second now.
Yeah, no Tommy Comper today, so he's going to be hard pushed to get enough rounds, and I can't remember how many drop rounds there are off the top of my head, if it's 4 or 2. If it's just the 2, then he's out of luck as one of the Compass cars goes wide in the background.
Probably Scandalera, I think. Yeah, he looks like he's recovering. He's lost a lot of positions. I think he's lost 2 or 3 places. Well, that's not him. Don't know who's who, mate. Cherney leads.
I'll try and do my best.
Justin
Fill
in
that gap in.
second. Johnson 3rd. Then you've got Oliver and Middleton, top 5. Justin Allen in 6th. So great start from him. He started 8th. He's got 2 positions there. Scandalera 7th, Alcala 8th, Figueiredo 9th, and Parks 10th. That's the top 10.
Importantly, no incidents in the first few laps, which is great to see. They obviously learnt their lesson from last season.
Yeah, we might have a proper race now, mate. One that goes, one that unfolds naturally. Cherney The key, Justin starts battling with Johnson. Then he could escape, and that could be the last we see of him. Johnson's looking to the second to last corner. You can't pass there, really, can you?
You have to have such a good run. You have to get alongside. It's your only chance, really.
You have to be on the inside, really, as well.
As Alan clips the inside curve, and just look at the distance he's probably lost there. That's nearly half a second that he's lost. He just unbalances the car a little bit as Johnson up the inside into turn one, side by side.
No contact, but a bit of grass for Justin now. Trevor's got the inside line. Justin will try and run it all the way around, but it's tough to make the second apex here without contact. Oh, very tight do there, but they both make it through. Good driving.
Yeah, arguably Justin's going to have the run here though with the slipstream, but he's coming under pressure from Alan.
Oliver as well now. He's going up the inside of Justin. Yeah, he decides not to. I think that might be the wise decision.
He's still there, still looking.
Enough to pass in the carousel. This group's just breaking away now. Well, Cherney's away, but then got these four, and then Alan's just tagging along to the back of this group. Scandalera 7th, Alcala 8th.
Yeah, just the battle in between these guys here is just slowing them up a little bit, and that's allowing Tobias to jump away.
Got a great battle at the back, Alex. 9th, well, I say at the back. 9th place, Isaac de Figueiredo, is heading a train of several drivers: Clark, Parks, McPherson, Jones, Dodd.
Oh, we got car off into the wall, turn one.
It's Scandalera, I think. It's the Scandalera has dropped it on the exit of the first corner. See what happened to him. Loses it all on his own. Gets in, gets on the curb, and oh, such an easy mistake to make. Didn't hit the wall though, so he's going to carry on and he's going to be alright with no damage. He's ahead still of Jones, Craig Jones.
Yeah, just watching a replay of that now. He was so close, but yeah, like you said, managed to keep it out the wall.
We need to do it, Watkins, Glen, definitely.
I remember similar thing happening to me in the Class A series. Tucked up behind Steve Michaels, just clissed the curve wrong. It just sent me spinning, and I was able just to hold it out the wall, and you're able to at least have a little fight back. Just have a little look at the end of the replay. Kind of under pressure, but he managed to hold on to that position.
Yeah, he did, and so that's 13th place, so lost about 10 seconds. You never know, he might be able to make some of those places back up. Yeah, Alex, you just get a little bit too much power on there, or a little bit when you're on the curb, and round you go. It's that simple, isn't it?
That's it.
Just get your line slightly wrong. That was exactly what you were talking about turn one. What you were illustrating to us earlier on, and we've seen a perfect example there. Cherney's lead is 1.8 seconds now, and looking pretty solid, it has to be said, as he always does. But is there a chance? I mean, surely the best chance everybody else has got is to follow single file and see if they can catch up to him.
Well, I have to say, if they do work together with the drafting pack, they should be able to close the gap back up. It does make such a difference here. We saw it in the GP260 league that we run, the All-Star Mazdas.
Oh, goes Cherney. Cherney goes through wide at the first corner. Felt like he lost quite a bit of momentum there. I don't know if that was maybe intentional, I'm not sure. Because he looked like he was going very slowly on the outside line.
As we know, the outside line can be used, as we've got a little battle here.
Yeah, but it didn't look like he was going very quickly. On this, I think he's lost about half a second there, mate. So maybe it was a mistake by Tobias. Don't see that very many up.
Yeah, this little pack that you were on about earlier on, that's still fighting hard there.
9th, yeah, 9th through the 20th is 6 seconds. But it's these 5 down to... Oh, Scandalera's caught the back of this pack now. So he'll try and make his way through First Dodd, then first McPherson, then Parks, then Clark to Figueiredo. In fact, Clark's now at the front of this pack. Figueiredo's lost 2 positions this time round. Down into turn 1 again for the 9th time. Goes Clark. Bob Parks in behind. Seems like we might have missed a good action, Alex. Listen to these guys.
Yeah, I just caught the end of Isaac just coming under pressure the last time by.
Candelera now, he's got to run down the back straight, Alex. It looks like he's going to make the move into the carousel. Up the inside, there's no...
Oh, who's wide? That's Clark wide, very, very wide. Lund,
wide, so
2 places. Scandalora gets through as well, so the 2 Compass cars right next to each other now.
Got a bit of a run now though, Tony Clark. As we go down towards the second to last corner, like you say, you've got to be alongside there to get through. But Clark, having fought his way to the front of this queue, now loses 2 places at once. That's frustrating, you've got to do all that work again. He's got a nice run on Isaac now.
You just go, squealing under braking.
The car under braking a little bit, but his
teammate's going to have him here.
As well. Candelera is behind. He'll try and put a move on going into the carousel, you'd believe, but Clark's going to have the slipstream from Isaac as well. Great action in the midfield, as always in ARLTV SuperCars. No moves into the carousel. Oh,
both of them wide there.
Figueiredo, very wide. Clark loses 1 place. Figueiredo loses 3.
Yeah, Scandalora just says thanks very much, I'll take them back.
The problem, isn't it? You're running in a train that's so tightly packed. 1 mistake can, like I say, 9th to 13th for De Figueiredo, I believe. Candelera then has pretty much recovered back to where he was before he had his spin.
Looks like the battle at the front still hotting up as well. We've got Justin holding off Trevor, so I'm guessing Justin got back past Trevor at some point.
Trevor's only a couple of... Yeah, he did. There were only a couple of tenths separating them on that previous lap, so looks like he made the move into turn 1.
Tobias 3 seconds clear though, so the more they fight, the more he pulls away.
Yeah, that's right, and they've got David Oliver as well, just behind. So Davo will be looking for an opportunity if these 2 come to grief. Romer Alcala putting a lap on Craig Jones back there. Alcala 7th. Performance from him so far.
Just looking at the battle here for 2nd place. Oh, Trevor! Lose it big time. Is he going? Fortunately, his teammate gets on through.
He's hit him. Might lose a position to Justin Allen here. Allen's has got good momentum coming up the hill. Now, will he be able to make the move up into the carousel?
That's the one thing with Trevor. He makes the odd little mistake here and there. Super fast.
Just 1 every race.
Push it, yeah. There is. Yeah. There's 1 every race. I mean, sometimes I feel like I do that as well. So I know how frustrating I feel when I do that. It's like, oh, come on. So he'll be kicking himself in that car right now. I mean,
I think that's the difference between him and Tobias at the moment. I think on pace they're very, very similar, but he just makes, the odd little error every now and again. We've seen him have there was the start at Zolder, and then there was a spin somewhere else, and they all add up, don't they, in a championship like this that's so long and so competitive.
It looks like he held on to the position from Alan OK there, so should be able to have the pace to
Oh.
fight back. And actually, the pack has spread out a little bit, but it's closed back up a tiny little bit with that incident.
You see Cherney off down to the carousel with a 4.5 second lead. He'd be delighted with that at this point.
Yeah, I bet he thought that he probably wasn't going to break away so quick.
Might have thought he wasn't going to break away at all. There he is. Meanwhile, we've got still this battle between. In fact, now they've caught Alcala, so I don't know if Roma's had a mistake somewhere. Because I think that's likely. I think talking to Craig Jones, I wonder if Craig Jones held him up a little bit. But Parks, Scandalera, Clark, they're catching Roma a little bit here. Just behind them is Craig Jones, but then Dodd, McPherson, Figueiredo, they're all very close together still. This is why, Alex, when you don't have a crash on the first corner, it makes a race a lot closer, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean the last season as well, it was so disjointed with everybody being everywhere, some laps down and all sorts, so this is what we want.
15 cars on the lead lap, just 2 that are, well, 3 cars that have retired essentially. Adrian Strapp retired on the first lap with a disconnection. Jamie Peters also disconnected a couple of laps ago. I think he's back out now though. Have a look.
Still
he's back in the field.
Oh, okay.
3 laps down though. Craig Jones is 1 lap down. Michael Middleton and Trevor Johnson having a bit of a scrap. I think Johnson's just overtaken him actually for P4.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting 2 very distinguished packs running around here though. So, ooh, that was Parks just getting a little bit sideways coming out of the penultimate corner. Yeah,
effectively this is Cherney in the lead, and then it's second to 6th. That's Justin. Well, that's Justin to Justin. Di Giandomenico down to Allen, and then it's Alcala down to De Figueiredo, only covered by 7 seconds or 7 or 8 cars there. So excellent scraps all the way down the field here.
To see how the strategy is going to pay out as well. See who goes long, who goes short.
What we have, I'll just go back to that in a moment. Just back to what you were saying about Johnson, I just remember what I was going to say is, I think sometimes with Trevor, if it's not going very well, his head seems to go down a little bit. He's a bit of sort of a Ralf Schumacher type in that sort of way, you know, he seems to drop off the pace a little bit. Do you get that feeling as well?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, it's very easy when you're not quite there to try and push that little bit harder, and you end up going backwards because you make just more little mistakes. It's yeah, as a racing driver, I think the hardest thing to do is you make an error on your corner and then you try and catch it up elsewhere, and you just amplify the issue as Alcala's coming under a bit of pressure here. But yeah, I think that's perhaps what he falls foul of a little bit, makes that little mistake and then just pushes even harder to try and catch the time up, and just those errors just keep on rolling in, and just get ever more frustrated in the cockpit of the car.
Yeah, frustration is probably the worst thing that can happen to you in a race, because it just...
Oh, we got a big one. 2 Rumi Kimi rural fencing cars.
Collision, was it?
Did look like that.
Craig Jones is off onto the infield section, the chicane. Let's have a look. No, there wasn't a collision. It was just Jones hitting the wall, losing it. Hitting the inside wall, so on his own, didn't collect anyone. Yeah,
there was Noble involved as well, though. I think you're missing. Let's just get a bit of a replay. Let's jump back.
Oh, this must have been different one. Ah, that's it then. It was. Oh.
Yeah, Bushell.
Man, that was a big one.
Yeah,
Nigel
Mark and Nigel.
Nigel Bushell and oh dear, Mark Noble there, just minding his own business.
Oh,
Bushell hits the edge of the fence. Oh man, that was a huge crash. And that's where the and Noble's got the blown engine. He's going to try and get it back to the pits. Because if he can get it back to the pits, he will get a fresh car. So that's important for him to. Try and get it back if he can.
yeah, it's a long way to get a tow back.
Good thing about this cup circuit, though, mate, is it's not a very long way to go compared to the bull circuit. Sorry.
Yeah, I think if he can just get to the carousel, if he gets to the carousel, the rest of it's sort of almost downhill, so he should be all right.
I think he's still got drive, he's still got power. He's just really struggling with it. He just needs to be very careful that it doesn't blow. Oh, Craig Jones has confessed to being under the influence of alcohol. Well, or at least a hangover. So, well, there you go. That probably explains why he was a lap down in the first place. It did well though, considering he was a bit inebriated still. He did quite well to keep it out of the middle of the track and not hit anybody else when he crashed. So
we've got Justin actually as pitted up front, so him and Trevor Johnson.
Johnson jumped him in the pits then.
So both those guys jumped in. So whether they're trying to go for a bit of an undercut, I'm not sure. Maybe some clear track.
The undercut will probably work here though. If it's going to work anywhere, it'll probably work here.
Tobias just gets a little sideways into turn 1. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead that he's going to have to deal with.
Yeah, how is Trevor in front of Justin? He was quite a way behind him just before they pitted. Must have been a good stop by Johnson.
16.2 seconds for Trevor in the pit stops. Justin with an 18.6.
There it is,
2
then.
seconds.
So we'll see these two and see if they can make up any ground. I have a feeling they would be able to. Quite a long pit lane here, isn't it?
Yeah, Romer Alcala's into the pits. Scandalora into the pits.
Yeah, you know, you lose a lot of time here, don't you, in this pit lane? It's quite a long way down that straight. At the limit, which is about 45 miles an hour, I think.
Yeah, nothing separates those two. With the pit stop time, Alcala, well, 17.8, 17.5 for Scandalora.
Still in front, Romer as well, so he maintains that position. Was running 7th, but Scandalera, you would think, would have the better of him, but we're going to see a good fight here, hopefully. Hopefully Romer gets his teeth out and really fights Jason here.
Well, leaders come in as well to pits.
He does the usual Romer thing and be too nice and he lets him through.
As he does.
But in this occasion I don't blame him because he's running well. I wouldn't want to throw away.
16.6 seconds stop for Tobias. I think that's probably a bit of an earlier stop just to cover off the other guys that have boxed. Dave Oliver stays out, so...
And there's been there's 2 cars off. Noble. I think there's been another incident, Alex, with Mark Noble. Have a look. Ah, somebody's been in the wall. That's it. There's a car in the wall. Odd Parks hit the wall in turn 2. He lost it all the way coming out of the pits. Slid it into the inside wall, hit the outside wall, came back on the track. Noble comes through and nowhere to go. And he just glances the left-hand wall, but he's damaged the suspension, it seems, and he's out of the race.
A driver that has absolutely no luck whatsoever.
No.
Is our Mark Noble?
I mean, he's in the pits. I think he might be getting repairs, but pretty hard hit on the left front corner.
Yeah, Alcala are able to keep up with Scandalora here, so, you know, he didn't need to concede positions or anything like that there. It wasn't like a faster driver really coming through. I mean, he can compete, so maybe he's going to have a little go back.
Normally I would say that Jason would have the advantage over Roma, but Roma was up there on pace. He wasn't really losing any time to the guys behind. So, in fact, I think he could have been in front of Scandalera anyway before Scandalera spun. So, yeah, he just likes to. Unless maybe he's a driver who prefers following other people to being out on his own. I don't know. Tough one, because I wouldn't have let him through. I'll be honest.
Well, maybe he's thinking if he doesn't fight, then he can maintain his position that he's at now. He can perhaps follow a slightly faster car around and just hopefully get himself pulled on and maintain his position.
Yeah, that's always a good strategy. I think.
Dave Oliver's pitted. He had an 18.1 second stop. Comes out in 4th. So Trevor definitely the winner in that one and gets himself back up into 2nd place. He's 3.9 seconds behind Tobias, so he actually caught up through that phase as well. So not totally out of the woods yet. And more importantly as well is he's got a little bit of a gap from Justin. So I don't think Justin's got any slipstream here. So he can just focus on his own pace and try and catch up the leader here.
Yeah, we've seen in the second half of some races that Johnson can drop off the pace slightly. So hopefully for him, he can maintain the pace that he showed just after his pit stop. Continue to close the gap. Justin Di Giandomenico is in 3rd, just a couple of seconds behind Trevor, and he's got Dave Oliver for company. Oliver, who's won races in this series before. The most famous race that Justin was in was that one at Okayama with Chris Lucky, which will go down in history for us as one of the best races we've ever seen.
Yeah, we just didn't know how to call that one until great all the way up to the start-finish line.
Amazing. I just watched the video back of that and it's very, very good. Roman Alcala says he's got damage, Alex. And I think that's noticeable damage. Now, let Clark and Dodd through.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened.
Crabbing a little. Let's have a look. Go back and see what we... Now, my bet is in the S's. Flipped a wall. Have a look. Oh, yeah. Exit of turn 3.
It's a shame for Roma, who's running strong. It's just after his pit stop as well, so could have used his pit stop as his fast toe at the same time, but
hit that outside wall pretty hard, actually.
Yeah, it's come back out after just 14.2 seconds, so I'm guessing he's got a fast toe now because he hadn't used it before, so it's not too long.
No, he's just on the lead. He's just come off the lead lap now, so fortunately for him, that sort of rules him out of the top 10 contention. What other battles are going on there? Clark and Dodd's probably the closest. They're 1.3 seconds, apart from Justin and Dave, actually.
Yeah, it looks like Dave. We must have missed that off camera. Dave's got past Justin, so
Johnson's lugging it out with Cherney at the front, though. 3.7 seconds is the gap at the moment.
Yeah, last time by as well.
Race to go as well.
Last time by, there was quite a difference in the lap time.
Yeah, we're on lap 24 now. About 28 minutes and 30 seconds have gone, so over half of the race still to go, Alex. Still plenty can happen.
Yeah, and these guys are gonna have to do a little bit of a longer run on the tyres this time as well, so it's all about who can keep them in check. So those last 5 or 6 laps, the last 10 minutes or so of this race, that's going to be the important ones. And we've got car around turn 1.
That could be Parks again, is it? Yeah, it is. He had a good first half of the race, but he's had a nightmare since.
Actually, it just looks like he's parked it there.
No pun intended, I'm sure.
Truly not. No, he's just waiting. He's waiting. Oh, that's it. Get around. Good driving, really, there. He sacrificed lots and lots of track time.
He's still parking it there as well when he's... That's strange.
Yeah, I just don't think he wants to affect anyone else's race. So, good sportsmanship from him there. Sacrificed a lot of time.
Unless he didn't want an off track, unless he doesn't realise that the off track, you won't get an off track at that speed.
Just keep an eye on the leader and Johnson. See what they do this time around.
Yeah.
So 109.823 for Tobias.
109.1 Johnson.
Yeah, massive difference there.
The thing though is Johnson using up too much of his tyres, trying to catch Cherney in this early part of the race. Like you said, the last few laps are going to be key, and especially round here, you need to save your tyres. When I drive the car, I always marvel at the fact that those guys can go so quickly while not destroying their tyres completely. It's a great art to driving this car. Once you've practiced and once you've done enough laps, it really does start coming to you. That's one thing that these guys are really good at.
There's just something with this car that I just really struggle on. That's just keeping the tyres in check. I can perhaps do 1, maybe 2 laps, but after that, it just feels shot to me.
As well, once you overheat the tyres, it all becomes exponential. You start spinning, you start having to correct the car. That puts more heat into the rear tyres, and then you are in trouble. So let's see what the gap is now. 2.6, so another 0.3 for Johnson there. I think something might have happened to Alcala again. Oh no, he's just giving directions to some cars to try to lap him. In fact, it's Dave Oliver and Justin Giandomenico who's
battling it out.
Justin's got a bit closer to Davo again.
Let's just jump on board with Justin.
You'll see from the driver's eye view. Do what he sees. Be able to take us through a lap when we get round to the start line.
Yep, sure we can manage that.
Less corners, Alex, it'll be easier. Be easier for you. No. See how that curve there just settles it big time.
Yep. Yeah, this one will as well if we clip that. Okay, so here we go then. A lap around Watkins Glen Cup circuit. Down into turn 1, downhill braking, down through the gearbox. You probably don't go as far down the gears as you want because this exit very tricky. You don't want to get any wheel spin there. Very critical. You've got this massive long straightaway section. Not quite flat out there for Justin. I'm pretty sure in qualifying they just about scraped through there, no problem. He's wiggling the wheel around there. I guess he knows he's on camera, or just checking for some damage. Into the carousel, brake really early for the carousel compared to like the aero base cars that would almost take that flat out. Just a difference in the tin top there, but again he seemed like he was sort of short shifting kind of out of it, making sure that he keeps the car on the track. This penultimate corner just bumps the curb a little bit, just has to wait to get on the gas. This last corner, turning in, very tricky. You don't want to run out too wide. It's easy to run into the tyre wall on the outside there. Last lap of Watkins getting Cup circuit.
Yeah, just a little point on the carousel, as we said though. It's a little bit tighter, isn't it, than in the aero cars, although it'd be interesting to see what the F1 car can do around this version of it. Probably would still be pretty fast, maybe 6th gear corner.
Well, I think it'd probably drop to 5th, to be fair. We can take 6th gear on the classic boot layout, but yeah, 5th gear I think, because you've got carry on rotating around, which would still be bloody fast.
It would indeed. See the difference? You'd normally go off onto the left there. Then you go down this fairly long back straight, to be fair, on this layout. It's much longer than it is on the boot layout. I like that second to last corner, I really do. You can push it quite hard through there.
Looks like Trevor took a little bit out of the tyres like we were expecting last time by.
Still maintaining lap times though.
Yeah, but where he
to-
was in the 108, that slowed down just a fraction. So, and Tobias was able to match him and maintain that 2.7 gap at the front then.
Trevor, well, only a couple of tenths slower than he was at the start of the run, so I think he looks like he's coping well with the tyres at the moment. So Cherney's, I mean, look at Johnson's. If you look at Johnson's lap times, very consistent, so consistent since his pit stop. 8.7, 8.9, 8.8, 9.0, 9.0, 8.9, 9.0, 9.1, 9.1, 9.2, 9.1, 9.2. Super consistency.
There's probably more Tobias picking the pace up just to try and maintain that gap as he's coming under a little bit of pressure.
Been quite inconsistent this journey since the stop. I wonder if he just had the one mistake and that was where he lost most of the time. See what the gap is this time. 1.9.
Yeah, it's a 0.8.
Another 0.1 for Johnson.
Yeah, 109.8 for Tobias. This is going to hot up nicely for the end of this race. 24 minutes to go.
And it seems like Trevor can maintain that pace. Like I said, that's another 109.1. Only a tenth quicker than his previous lap, so he's obviously not taking too much out of the rubber. What you need at the moment. This midpoint of the race, though, isn't it, Alex? Where you think about the start, you think about where you're going to finish at the end, but this is the point of the race where you can throw it all away if you're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in a great place here. I mean, he could have really had a bit of a shocker with the spinny head. He was lucky he recovered. He finds himself after the pit stop, gaining a couple of seconds through the pit stop phase, and he's back in the game. And he's got, like we said, 24 minutes to go. Just needs to bide his time. Keep putting the pressure on Tobias. Keep Tobias trying to pull away and spin up those tyres. So those last 5-10 minutes, he's in a much better footing to attack Tobias.
Yeah, Justin right behind Dave Oliver, Alex. I think you should switch to that one now if you can. Justin's going to the inside into turn one. Oliver doesn't fight it really.
Ooh,
and
twitch. I think he was hoping to get a better run down this straight and perhaps get him straight back, but that little twitch.
A bit like a DRS type move. But he's got, look at the slipstream he's got already just coming through the S's. He must have set his car up for straight line speed, it seems. Definitely closing.
We know how long this straight is as well. It's almost one of the longest flat out sections for pretty much every car is Watkins coming out of that turn one.
It's a long time really. You don't brake from turn one, especially in the F1 car. You don't brake from there all the way until the carousel.
I dare say it's almost as long, if not longer, than the Spa section. Certainly in this car it's going to be, because obviously they won't go through a Rouge flat out.
Close that one, isn't it?
Is that Johnson coming into the pits?
It
is.
Yes, it is. It is. And surely now that's given the victory to Cherney. What happened?
I'm wondering if he short filled. He had a really quick stop.
He was just going round as normal and then he comes into the pits.
And he missed his box as well, just to...
The guys don't need two stops here, do they?
No, one will have done, I would have thought. I mean, I might be wrong.
I'm thinking because they pitted quite early. They pitted before half an hour. So, is it possible that it is a two-stop race and he's just doing the second stop now?
Well, it's possible, I guess.
I mean, this is one of the disadvantages, unfortunately, of not running the series ourselves. Is we're not completely sure. We usually trust the guys that it's a one-stop race, or if it's lucky, would do a no-stop race. But Cherney's in. So
that makes that up then. Two-stop it is. I mean, they were in quite early, so I guess it made some sense.
Oh, Johnson's getting held up as well.
Obviously, Cherney jumped straight in to make sure that he got the, he covered him off.
Oh, this is killing Johnson behind Will Dodd. He must have lost half a second or so. Surely now that's going to put him well behind Cherney. Cherney maybe gained 2 or 3 seconds there. Have a look.
16.5 for Johnson it was. Tobias still 16.0, yes, we had a half a second.
Got the final pit stall, Alex. Down towards turn 1. He's got comfortably in front. That cost Johnson hugely. Massive.
Yeah, I mean, just half a second was lost in the actual pit stop time, but the problem with Johnson was he missed his box.
Oh.
So he had to back it up in there, so that's cost him 2 or 3 seconds.
So it wasn't really the traffic that was the problem then? Ah. Well, Cherney's outlap, let's see what that is, but Johnson's is a 141.8.
Dave Oliver stays on out.
I wonder if any of these guys can make it to the end.
I'm just trying to think who was the last person to stop. There were some drivers that did stay out a bit further back, so maybe they'll, they'll come back into it.
Maybe they're on a one-stop race. That's added a new piece of interest, hasn't it, in this race?
Yeah, Justin.
We thought it was just a straight one-stopper.
Justin's in as well for his second stop.
I think this is a track where you would be able to save some fuel. The only problem is that you've got quite a lot of long straights.
Yeah, I think actually this is I
too much.
think this would be the worst track for saving fuel, because you need to be on the gas down the straights the whole way. You can't really afford to save any fuel down there. It's all about lift, coasting into the braking zones is where you can save your time.
There aren't that many braking zones
Exactly.
even on this track, are there? So
Justin drops down to 6th after his stop. Jason Scandalora up into 3rd. Now obviously we know he had his little moment, but I'm trying to remember when Jason pitted. He might potentially be on a one stop.
have you not got that information? Well, I'll tell you what, I can find out for you actually. Just a second.
It seems
lap
like all...
19.
Okay.
He's in for his second stop actually now.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's coming in
Justin,
actually.
possibly, or Will? Is that Will? Might be Will.
Yeah, it could be Will. Justin's
It is
been
Will. Getting those two confused because they've both got white cars on my screen, you see. So
Dave Oliver still stays out. Let's keep an eye on him this time and see if he comes in.
that would be the sensible time.
No, carries on.
Sideways coming out the last corner, that's what we like. Just remember though as well that the tyres will still be in fairly good condition for Dave, so
It must all be about fuel here, really. Can't believe that they would have come in for tyres. There's certainly not been any drop off. So in lap time performance, so to me it just looks like a fueling issue. It's either quicker with 2 short stints of fuel, or it just won't make it.
thing is, this track itself, there's so little. I don't want to sound funny here, but there's so little driver input, isn't there? As in terms of compared to somewhere like Laguna Seca or Spa or somewhere like that, where the driver tends to make all the difference. Here, much closer.
Oh, it certainly is an equaliser, is this circuit. You know, just to bring up our GP260 league again. I mean, that was just crazy close there. That whole race, cars
You see
just
that?
drafting, missed it.
Dave Oliver he got a wheel on the grass coming out of the second to last corner and nearly lost it, but he survived.
And still he continues.
But it was the GP260 race. I missed that, I think, and by all accounts, it was a great race.
Yeah, one of the better ones for sure.
So we've now got McPherson, who's only pitted once, Middleton and Allen, who have pitted twice. Pitted 6th and 7th, they're about 4 seconds apart. Person in the high 1 minute 10s, Middleton in the low 10s. So these are the last 3 cars on the lead lap. 5th, 6th and 7th.
Yeah, it's one thing with this layout is it is very easy to fall a lap down. A few mistakes here and there and some battles, and you lose quite a bit of time, and it's such a short lap.
To be honest though, if you're at the back after the first stint and you pit before the leader does, you'll go a lap down anyway.
Yep.
You need to really, if you're at the back, do a longer stint. Make sure you don't get laps. That's the key, I think.
Yeah, it's something like 33 seconds, I think, for a pit stop here.
Because
plus, yeah, add another 10 seconds to that, so we're talking like 43 seconds.
If you can avoid getting lapped, and of course the obvious, stating the obvious, but you don't have to let the leaders through. So you make sure you plan your race. If you're ever at the back of a race, make sure you plan it that you don't get lapped in the pits, because that's what can kill you, especially early on in a 1 hour race like this.
Well, you're just constantly letting cars go by, so there's a second here, a second there, so.
Yeah, whereas if you stay on if you pit after the leader does, you emerge only 30 seconds behind them, and you don't have to let anyone through. So that's the top tip for the day. My ARLTV. And Stephen McPherson pits for the second time from 5th. He's going to drop down quite a way. I'm not sure where he's going to come out. He's probably going to be around Will Dodd.
I think he was around 10th before before everybody else started pitting. So we've got 2 Compass cars having a bit of a battle here.
I believe Clark's gone through. Candelaria. Are they teammates? Are they?
They are indeed.
Right. Okay. I just see 2 different looking cars. There are 2 Compass cars there fighting. We've seen the Compass cars actually battling it into team all season, haven't we?
They've actually been very, very close as well. They've got, obviously, there's a few sister teams, all part of I think they're RER now, aren't they? So rather than
oh, are they?
Rather than REM. So yeah, all part and parcel of that little group.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I didn't even know that. That's broadcast journalism for you, isn't it? Not knowing anything. So, excuse me. With about 13 minutes to go, ARLTV V8 SuperCar race. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson with you as usual. And Dave Oliver leads by 25 seconds, but he hasn't taken his second pit stop yet. We do believe he might have to make another one, and in he goes. As I say so. Could come out just a few seconds behind Johnson, probably in front of Justin, so 3rd place it looks like for Dave.
Yeah, he's going to be quick on this last stint, that's the thing, he can really hammer these tyres for these next, 12 minutes by the time he exits the pits. Yep. Justin, just having a look now, Justin's coming around the final corner. I think Justin's going to jump him here. It's going to be extremely close.
Dave's got the last, he's only 2 boxes from the end of pit road.
Even now, it is going to be crazy close, but I think he's got it.
Whether Justin can get a run though, it's a bit quicker. Not very quick on the inside coming through there off of pit road. And he's done it by a margin, so good effort from Dave there.
Yeah, his lap times weren't really falling. There wasn't much gain or loss by Justin by coming in that little bit earlier than Dave there. So this again leads me to think that it was a fueling issue why we went for a 2-stop rather than the 1 today.
Got 4 Compass cars out there battling, Alex. Middleton and Allen, Clark and Scandalara. Nose to tail. Inter-team battles. Will Dodd's back on the lead lap now that Dave pitted. So Cherney leads by 3.7 seconds, and it really was that bad pit stop, Alex, wasn't it? That's cost Johnson the race win here.
Yeah, and Johnson not lapping so quickly that time by as well, so 197, so it's gone from that consistent low 9s, high 8 pace, sort of more to where Tobias was, so that's why he's not really closed the gap. 10 minutes to go.
Tobias, but look at all this lovely traffic in front of Tobias.
3 cars, going to slow him down quite a bit. That could well be a good 2 seconds that he could lose. It's one thing that happens when the leader comes through, it makes the rest of the guys aware that the leaders are coming, so they get out of the way a bit quicker for usually the cars following.
Yeah, sometimes just like in real life though, you can get a bit distracted and not realise that the leader's coming. I'm sure they will, I'm sure they've all got their relative screen up. Those who don't know, that's pressing F3 or your keypad. We'll do that and bring up a relative screen, your position compared to all the other drivers. If a car's in red, it means he's a lap in front of you, get out of the way.
Yeah, don't forget the advisory blue flag that we get shown as well.
Yes, don't have to get out of the way.
It is advisory with the iRacing sporting code, but I believe pretty much everybody on the roadside takes it for the traditional style F1 get out of the way flag.
Yeah, I mean there is the we get the advisory blue flag in the ovals. I can't remember for some reason.
Yeah, you do. It's the same, but I mean you see a lot more racing and people trying to stay on the lead lap and things like that on the oval side.
Yep, that's true. But yeah, generally, I don't see that many people on the roadside who abuse the blue flags. They don't do a subtle, keep somebody behind for a whole lap. But by the way, apparently he's protesting that. He's protesting that penalty, Alex, that he got in Montreal.
Yeah, okay.
For holding up Lewis Hamilton. He was about a lap. He was in front of him for a lap without getting out of the way. So I don't understand, blue flags are there for a reason. As we're on lap 43 here. Only started lap 44 in fact.
Yeah, he's got himself through the traffic, no problem there. If anything, I think he pulled away just a tiny little bit. Again, no, about the same.
I think as he went through
9.3 both drivers.
Yeah, I think as he went through the traffic, mate, I think he pushed a little bit harder, to make up for it. So he didn't lose any time.
Yeah, he seemed to catch them all just at the right times as well, not really in any braking areas or more just sort of halfway down the straights.
What's your approach to that? Do you try and push a little bit harder through the traffic just to keep the time loss to a minimum, or do you tend to be more careful and just make sure you get through?
When I'm in this sort of position, I'm constantly worried what they're going to do and when they're going to let me go and things like that. So I'll perhaps take it just a tiny little bit easier. Just the last race I did at Suzuka, I had 2 cars that actually spun in front of me trying to get out of the way. So, and had I been full hammer, I would have ploughed into probably both of them. So it gave me just a little bit of time just to dodge them. So
there you go. It's so easy to do as a back marker. I know it sounds really stupid, but you see the leader come in and you do panic a tiny bit. You don't want that, because the last thing you want to do is take the leader out. And I think on iRacing, as you can see, it's the leader. Sometimes you panic a little bit more. In real life, if you just get a blue flag and you're not sure who it is, I think it's, you just let them through, don't you? I think sometimes it can put the frighteners on you as a back marker and you end up in the wall. This is a battle, Alex. This is a good battle. 7th, 8th, 9th, Tony Clark, Jason Scandalera and Will Dodd.
yeah, Will looking racy at the back of that.
Are you surprised that Scandalera's not managed to get past Clark?
Well, I imagine they're running very similar sets, so in that part, no. I mean, we're used to seeing Scandalera up there and really competing with time-wise, so a little bit off the money today.
Yeah,
so that perhaps a little bit surprising.
That spin, didn't he, which sort of ruined his race. I think he'd have been on for, he might have been on for P5, P6.
It's nice to see Kimi Ruo's fencing car up there, challenging Will. Seems to have done really well in the championship since he's come in.
Yeah, very consistent results. A couple of top fives.
Yeah, I imagine Mark must be very delighted with his progress in the team.
Yeah, I think some of the drivers that Mark's recruited sometimes been a little hit and miss before, but I think he's got a good one with Will and with McPherson as well. I think McPherson is he's one that with a bit more time in the car as well can push forward. I think next season. And look at this actually, Clark's got a bit of a gap because Scandalera made a tiny mistake, I think, in turn 1, and that's allowed Dodd to really put pressure on him. But he's too far back. Scandalera's car looks pretty quick in a straight line, Alex.
Yeah, I don't think... Ooh, car on the apex going through the carousel. That caught him out a little bit.
Who was that? It was Jamie Peters, who disconnected earlier on. Came back in 3 laps down. They need to make sure that they can see him on the inside. But if he hit anything... Car maybe, yeah, going a little bit sideways, so he must have hit something. Have a quick look. Been in the outside wall at the carousel.
Still got this battle between Middleton and Allen going on as well, so they're nose to tail.
Oh, well, that's a hard hit. Hard hit for Peters, Alex, coming through the carousel. He corrected, he slid, corrected the slide, and then ended up in the other wall, as happens so often here.
4 minutes to go. These 2 battles, pretty much what we got there. Tobias just holding on to that 3-second gap as well at the front. So I'd say that one is pretty much done. It's all about the battle for 5th and 6th and 7th, 8th and 9th at the moment. Yep.
Just out of your opinion, where's the best place to pass in this layout in this car? Because it's obviously turn 1 is the easiest place to pass, but is it the best? Because then you're going up the long straight and the other guy can get a slipstream. So what would you do?
Yeah, I normally wait. If I'm really close going into turn 1, I would normally have like a tiny little lift and just keep it right on their bumper through turn 1 and get the run going down the back straight. So at least then I know I've got the rest of the lap just to try and maybe pull a little bit of a gap to be safe.
Yep. So that next time when you come around, you're away from that. Middleton not managing to shake Allen. Good racing though. It's been a very enjoyable race.
Yeah, I wonder if there's not just some team orders being played out here and they're sitting stum, and that goes the same with Clark and Scandalora, but obviously they've got Dodd for company. That's just to make that a bit interesting.
That is their problem, you know. Team orders are easy unless there's other teams involved. And Will Dodd, well, he's done very well to 9th place at the moment, but he's quicker than these two, fairly comfortably, I would say.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes to go, so we're going to have another couple of laps.
Right,
maybe 3.
Scandalera's exhaust.
Yeah, the issue Dodd's got is that the car in front's getting slipstream from the teammates, so it's difficult to get a run.
Yeah,
a little look there, and he should have kept his nose. Should have kept his nose sort of on the normal line rather than having a little peek and just go for it. I know it's difficult sometimes. You just need to spot your braking point. So you have a little look just to do that.
Now then, Jason's got a great run up the hill, Alex, and in fact, Will's got a run on him. You can see multiple position changes here as we go down to the carousel. Clark half-heartedly blocking the middle. Oh, Dodd going for the inside. Scandalera's gone wide. There's a car in the wall in front of them. And Scandalera again losing a position.
Well, Scandalera didn't want to go for the move there. You could clearly see it. What he should have done was got on the back bumper of his teammate, pushed him down that straight if they wanted to hold on to it.
Yeah.
NASCAR style. He
outbraked himself into the carousel though. Wide, and now that might have just been the last sniff that he had of getting that 7th place held by Tony Clark. Will Dodd up to 8th now. Just a
52
minute to go.
seconds to go. Yeah, I think Tobias will get round for another one.
3.3 seconds in front. 3.2 now. And you know, Trevor has been slightly quicker, hasn't he, in these last 2 stints? But unfortunately for him, he had the bad pit stop. I think he'd have been right behind him otherwise.
I'd have been completely different as Scandalora took a slightly wider line.
Yeah, can he do better in the carousel this time, Jason?
Middleton and Allen just line astern still, so we'll stay with this one because I think Dodd's the one that's mixing it all up in this battle. Oh, he got a great line through the carousel, but
Clark's taking it extra carefully, it seems, through the carousel to try to just maintain that position. Dodd's got to hover in the middle of the racetrack surely here, because this is the last chance. Well, will they get another lap?
I think they'll get one more in. Tobias has gone through, so they should get just the one more. And actually Tobias is right behind them, so this is going to be his last lap. So as the leader comes around, take the victory.
Yeah, Tobias Cherney wins at Watkins Glen.
We'll stick with this battle because Trevor Johnson's going to come through for second, we know that. But this was where all the action is. Looks like a good exit from Dodd here.
Scandalera's trying to make sure he gets the best run through the S's as well. Clark at the front of the train for Compass, Kimmy's Raw fencing with Will Dodd in second. Dodd looks to the outside. Clark covers the middle. You can't go too tight through here. You might get a... Look, Scandalera's going. He's going to try and get a run down the straight while those two are trying the tight line. Might work for him, you know. There's just not enough drive out of there. 2 corners to go. Oh,
he's gone. Fuel. It's got to be fuel.
I think he's just outbraked him, has he?
No, it's fuel.
No, it must be.
Yeah, it's fuel. You can hear him splutter, and his teammate's going to get him as well.
Oh no, he's not. The last car's on the lead lap. Scandalera pushing his teammate over the line. That's great teamwork there. Fantastic stuff from them.
But Dodd will be delighted with that, picking up the 8th place.
Well, that's the thing about that, is they weren't going to lose any more places, so it was probably better to make sure that Tony Clark crossed the line. So he almost called the fuel perfectly, didn't he?
Just that if Tobias had managed to lap him that on that last, you know, he'd have had it.
Yes, he would. He would. He only lost 1 position though. He finished in P8. Still very solid. So Cherney wins by 3 seconds over Trevor Johnson, who had... I think he was the fastest driver throughout. He's going to be disappointed with himself, I would think. Dave Oliver in 3rd, then Justin in 4th. Michael Middleton and Justin Allen were nose to tail, 5th and 6th. Will Dodd 7th. Tony Clark 8th. Jason Scandalera 9th. But pushing his teammate over the line. Stephen McPherson 10th. These cars are all lapped. Isaac de Figueiredo 11th. Then Nigel Bushell 12th, Romer Alcala 13th, 2 laps down. Jamie Peters 14th, he was in the wars, so was Mark Noble. Todd Parks, Craig Jones, hungover, and Adrian Stratford hung out to dry by his internet connection.
Yeah, it just seems like the overlay just not quite showing the results properly there, so apologies for that, but Woody called him right at the end there.
So Mr Simpson, what did you make of that race?
Yeah, great little race, that one. Nice to see a fair bit of action throughout.
It's a little shame we couldn't have had a battle for the lead at the end.
Yeah, Tobias drove a great race. I mean, he didn't put a foot wrong. He has to be driver of the day today. I mean, started in 3rd place on the grid. Fantastic getaway. Got himself into a good position. Made a couple of moves. Got clean. Broke away from that chase impact, so he wasn't involved in the fighting. 2 good, clean pit stops. It wasn't the quickest car on the track today, but certainly the most consistent, and that's what made the difference.
Yep, and so often that can be the case, as you know full well that as well. Consistency wins out. This is what we say every week. especially in these 1 hour races in a track like Watkins Glen. You know, there's not much room for error, as you said before. We saw guys hitting the wall, saw spins and crashes, but Bryce Cherney, well, dead, faultless.
We'll go
Dave
to
Oliver third did a good race as well. Sorry, mate.
yeah, I was about to say we'll go to a quick commercial break, but we'll be back just to see if any drivers pop up for an interview. We haven't been here for a couple of weeks, so it's possible someone might have not been knowing that this was being broadcast. So we'll just give them a few minutes, but we'll be back in just a couple.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Right, welcome back. We've got a few drivers waiting for an interview, so let's grab up today's winner, Woody, and have a quick chat with Tobias.
And then when? Hey guys.
Hi Tobias, sorry for grabbing you in mid-sentence there, but yeah, we want to have a quick word with you and congratulate you on today's faultless drive. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I was just talking to Trevor about Adrian at the start because he started blinking, and I actually haven't seen Adrian, or have seen Adrian for around maybe 10 seconds in the first lap, and it was really strange. So suddenly the position in front of me was empty, and I knew where he will return or what happens, and I saw him in T1. He obviously had a good start, but then yeah, disappeared. I don't know, really strange. And then I was able to overtake Justin as he had a good start, and then I had some really good laps. I changed the setup to yesterday, where I had an official race. There my tires stopped really after 7-8 laps, and I had problems. Now with the other setup here, it was awesome to drive. Very good, very good.
Obviously, one thing that surprised us a little bit today was the pit stop strategy. Everyone opting for a 2-stop. So, what was the thinking behind the 2-stop? Was it fuel, or was it tires, or?
Yeah, since the maximum tank was reduced to 70%, we had to pit twice. The tires were no problem. They were somewhere around 88 to 92%, depending on where on the car they are mounted. But yeah, I made a suggestion in the forum to maybe reduce the fuel, because otherwise it would have been 30 minutes and one pit stop 30 minutes. So we had a lot of kilometers to drive here. The fuel burn was very high, and I thought this 2-stopper added more strategy, and also is more fun to watch than 1-stop.
Yeah, it certainly was. Caught us by surprise a little bit when the guys came in for the second time. We thought people were just trying to play a bit of a safe game and try and get some undercuts earlier on. So caught us out a little bit.
Yeah, so if you would have tried a one-stopper, you had to save around 35 liters. I think this is not possible, so
Yeah.
maybe with the tank would have been a little bit bigger, then would have been a one-stop possible option, but since such a fast track, I don't know.
Another victory again for you today. Sorry, Woody, just to cut you in there. Looking good for the championship now. Just got a few more rounds to go.
Yeah, 4 rounds left. And there's one race, Barber. I've never driven, so I don't know how this will be. But I can't wait for Oulton Park. Even when it's without chicanes, it will be a blast there. And
I think
hopefully
you'll like
good fun.
Barber. We've done Barber before, and it's IndyCar, and it's a nice track. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be tough in this car, though. To be fair.
Yeah, there are some fast chicanes, I think, where you cannot really see where the track ends, so no, we will see. But the others, Brands Hatch will be good, and Oran Park as final. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, not many rounds left. What's the strategy for you? Is it try and win as many races as possible? Is it just try and finish the races? What's the
I don't know.
What's the mindset for you?
Since Trevor was faster than I yesterday in the official race, I really thought that would be maybe 10 seconds ahead of me at the end. And yeah, but obviously he made a few mistakes, and my set was better, so I didn't plan to win here, but things came different, and I'm very happy about this. And yeah, I will just prepare as usual for the next 4 rounds and see what happens there. How I can set a good qualification lap or ever. Just racing.
Yeah, just one more thing I wanted to ask you. You mentioned that the setup, the change that you made, helped you a lot with the tyres today.
Yeah.
Did you do anything differently in the car as well to help that, or did you just drive your normal race?
I usually change nothing when I'm racing, so I just took another setup. It was actually the first long run, and I was really happy and surprised how stable the lap times were, and I have to check what exactly was different from this setup. I had driven it in Lime Rock, and that also felt very good. So I only changed the gear ratio. That was it.
All right, well that's great. I mean, it always helps if you can drive the same on every track, and that's how you try and get your setup to suit your style. So I mean, Alex, you know that's really important.
It's the key thing. Yeah.
I also have a setup for Phillip Island that is a little bit more, twitchy to drive, oversteering. But it has, if you can control the car into the corner or through the corner, it has very good mid-corner speed. But it's difficult to drive over several laps, and with this setup here, I think all my times were in the 1.09s, and this was very good. Yesterday I had 2 laps, 7 and 8 laps, 7th and 8th lap, and I don't know. This is the time where, for me personally, the tires drop, and they need a few laps, and then they come back a little bit, and car behaves much nicer. This wasn't the case today, so I'm very glad.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Lenovo, to our team members who were not here today due to different reasons. I hope they were able to see the broadcast, and we'll see them next round. So that's it.
Cool. Thank you, Tobias. We should be able to catch next week's race as well, so we'll see you then.
Yeah,
But,
and thanks for broadcasting.
Yeah,
See
no
you later.
problem. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Yes.
Right, so Tobias Cherney there, your race victor. Let's get P2 up, Trevor Johnson. Hi Trevor, welcome to the box. Tell us a little bit about your race today, P2. Happy with that?
Yes and no.
I thought you might say that.
Yep.
Do elaborate.
Well, the start was a bit weird because Adrian was flashing in and out, and he sort of put me off a little bit, so I bogged down a touch. Good battle with Justin then. Then I made a couple of mistakes. The biggest one was into turn 1 where I went 90 degrees to the turn and just cooked my tyres at that point in the first stint. So pitted a little bit early after catching Tobias up again. Just to get the hot tyres off and getting fresh set on, cooler, more grip. Pushed really hard in the second stint. Caught Tobias a lot in that stint. Was juggling with the idea of pitting even earlier with like 25 minutes to go or something like that, but decided against it, and it was lucky because I crossed the line with half a litre of fuel. Yeah, it was a bit close, but yeah, after that it's just sort of try and consistently lap and see if Tobias fell off, but yesterday he did, but today he didn't.
Yeah, you missed your pit box as well in your second stop. I think that's what cost you probably 2 or 3 seconds there, and the chance to really have a bit of battle with him.
Yeah, no, that didn't help either. No, just a few mistakes that shouldn't have happened, but they do.
Your lap times were really, really consistent, and we were quite impressed by how you managed to keep the tyres in such good shape. It's unfortunate, really, that you had the mistakes, and that it was just, I mean, you know that, but it's unfortunate that, just if it was a mistake-free race, I think you'd have been right with him, if not in front of him. Fortunately, do you like this track? Is it one of your favourites, or is it? What do you think of it?
Watkins as a whole, I love it. I've always been pretty quick here, and usually it's the chicane layout with the bus stop, which gives you a chance to get people making mistakes ahead of you into that chicane, so you can pass a bit more. It's a bit harder to pass here.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously quite hard on the brakes anyway into the carousel, but into the chicane it would have been quite a big stop for these cars, and you would have had a chance to get through. Did you look like you had a bit of problem with traffic after your second stop? Was that the case?
Yeah, I was pushing a bit hard, and I didn't really have time to have a look and see what the gap was and where I'd come back out, so I sort of caused into the wind and just ducked in, and sort of where I came out is where I came out basically, and just deal with it after that. Wasn't too bad, but I did lose a couple of seconds.
It was a good effort anyway, mate. I think, as long as you keep getting the good finishes, you're going to be in there until the very, very end, and we haven't got many rounds left. So, I mean, what's your plan for the next few rounds? Barber, Alton, Oran Park?
Barber I've never raced at. Bolton, no chicanes. I've not done that for a while, but it's a decent track in this car. Brands Hatch is Brands Hatch, and Oran Park is a laugh, so went quite well there, my first outing at the beginning of the season, so yes, pushing for the win as usual, nothing to lose really.
Well, congratulations again on P2. We'll look forward to seeing you next week, mate. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to while you're here?
PRS, NMR, all the guys that sponsor, John again for an awesome setup, and that's about it, and Dave for keeping Justin at bay.
Congrats, mate. See you next week.
Cheers,
Well
guys.
done, Trevor. Cheers, mate.
Right, and as he mentioned his teammate, let's drag Dave up here as well. Have a quick word.
Yeah, good drive today, third. Hello, Dave. Up to the booth.
G'day fellas, how's it been?
Been
Yeah,
good, mate.
all good.
Well done today. P3.
Yeah, thanks for that. It was a pretty decent race.
Yeah, take us through it from your point of view.
Well, yeah, start of the race, and then you had the flashing, mystery, disappearing act of Adrian. And yeah, he kind of disappeared a bit. I caught a glimpse of him going into turn 1, then he disappeared, reappeared at the end of turn 1, exit of turn 1, then disappeared till the back straight. So I'm not too sure if it was the same for you guys or not.
Yep.
It really put Trevor off. He said he got a really bad start because he was watching what was happening to him.
Yeah, it probably would have if I was in TJ's position as well.
So with regards to yourself, you had a great battle with Justin, and seemed to go for most of the race. Did you take us through that?
Because I think it was, Tobias got out for a couple second lead, and then it was TJ, Justin, myself, and pretty much I decided fairly early on to run it long and just see, and then try short fill at the end, which I was able to do and could have actually managed to go even shorter on fuel. But yeah, pretty much when I was when I was tucked up behind the guys down the straights and stuff, I was able to roll out of the throttle pretty early, so I was able to save a bit of fuel, which was good. Because I know Tobias just asked me then, going, how did you get an extra lap out of each tank? So, because pretty much, through the draft, I was just able, up going past where the bus stop is and all that, I was able just to back out of it and all that. But yeah, it was definitely a good battle, and you had just missed TJ when he had his rear lock-up going into turn 1, which was a bit of a hard in throat time, and just missed that. And then pretty much, starting to catch up to Justin, and it looked like his tyres and his set kind of went off after, half a dozen to a dozen laps. And, just, I don't know, kept on going, and then just tried to just run it long and just see where it kind of ended up. In the end, it probably didn't work out as well as I'd hoped, because any gains I would have made by running longer, it kind of got it counteracted by the guys having fresher tyres for those extra few laps. But I was still able to go jump Justin in the end. So, but yeah, it seemed pretty good, nice and clean, which is good.
Yeah, we were amazed actually at the first few laps, not a single incident on track. So I remember what happened last season here. All hell broke loose, so it was great to see actually a nice train of 18 cars flowing around.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I think it was Nobby had his it blew his engine, so come up through the S's bit, and it's like a nice smoke screen everywhere. I know that TJ was. I know that TJ. I think we'd just pitted, and TJ was complaining that he just like jokingly was like, that he just cleaned his window, had dirtied his window up.
Yeah, there was a bit of a crash with Nigel for Mark, unfortunately, but. Yeah, I mean it's nice of him to obscure your view anyway, definitely, especially in that part of the track that's scary enough as it is at times, I think. So looking forward to the last few races then, mate. There's not that many rounds left. What are your thoughts about the next tracks we go to? We've got Barber, Brands Hatch, Alton Park, and Oran Park.
I have not raced at Barber.
Nobody has by this time.
Yeah. It's a great track, but I'm not sure how it's... To be honest, I think it might be better in the V8s than it is in the cars that usually run there, so...
okay.
Overtaking is tricky, that's the only thing I can say.
From racing in other games... Yeah, when people drifting and having it snap oversteer on the crest.
Oh, yes.
Because then what were the other one? I know that if I can aim to do well at Oran Park, I always seem to go pretty well there. I think the last two times we've visited there, I've taken the win. So hopefully I can do a three-peat there. But
yeah, it's always nice to have a track at the end of the season that you like. It's a bit of motivation, isn't it? What about Brands Hatch and Alton Park?
Ooh, I don't know. I've seemed to go alright there. It's definitely a lot tighter and a bit of fun. Hold on tight kind of tracks, especially Alton Park. That feels like a bit of a rally track sometimes.
Yeah.
So, Dave, how's things going with the new team? Settled in? All happy? It's been a few weeks since we've chatted to you about it. Yeah,
it's definitely going well with LMR, and especially being with Trevor and all that. it's a bit hard sometimes for the official races with him or with the guys, because I've been put with the European guys, so I'm holding the flag sometimes for the official races. But yeah, it's been good, especially. But there's definitely with the other crew from the LMR, the other teams, it's definitely good. Learning off them and picking up pace and more consistency, which is good, and better sets, or different sets that you wouldn't really think of and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely better. More, so I think I've improved more since the last season. But if I can just continue to do that and get closer to Trevor and some of the other faster guys in LMR, then that's pretty much the goal. So step by step and round by round. So just continue to see where I end up.
That's good to hear. It's all going well. You pretty much just done that anyway. But anyone else you want to give a shout out to before we bring up Justin?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, just the whole LMR crew, and actually looking at the results now, Michael Middleton had a nice run again. It's good to see, and then also Justin. I don't think he's been around for a few races like myself, so and that's a pretty decent result for Justin and Will Dodd as well. So good run by them. It's good to see a few other guys up the pointy end of the field. So
cool. Thanks, Dave. Good luck in the last 4 rounds, and we'll try and catch as many of them as we can.
Not a problem. Thanks for what you guys do. So talk to you soon.
Cheers, Dave.
Well done, Dave. Cheers.
Cheers.
I think the top 3 all drove very good races, to be fair, Alex, I think, and so did the man who we've got at the moment, Justin. Hello.
Hey guys.
Hello, mate. It's been a long time since you've been up here.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
How did you get on today then? You looked like you had a fun race with Dave?
Yeah, no, that was a good race tonight. Had heaps of fun battling with all the Dave and I think it was TJ at the start of the race, and Tobias ended up getting away a little bit, but it was all good fun.
It was interesting to see the different pit stop strategies today, obviously with the forced fuel, as we found out. A few guys jumping in early and trying to cover off each other. It seemed a bit cat and mousey out there with the strategy. What was your? Did you run what you plan, or were you adapting to what other people were doing?
Yeah, no, it was a bit crazy. Like I just sort of went out there and I put full tank of fuel in, and I was just looking at my fuel, counting down. I was just going to pit whenever I had 2 laps of fuel left, and it actually worked out not too bad. So I just came in and pitted and put some fuel in it and went back out, and yeah, I found myself, I'm out. I think Dave came out a little bit behind me in the first stop, and then in the second stop he just jumped me. So yeah, it was pretty good.
It was a nice little showing for the rest of the team as well. Obviously not just talking the package anymore, but all the other RER guys. Compass Car's doing pretty well. You must be stoked with that, considering they're all technically driving for you.
It's good, all the guys, we've got different, some of us have different skins, the Compass and packaging and more, but we're all under the same sort of banner, so it's good having them help us as well. We are the same team, but it's just running different skins, and yeah, we all work as a team. So this week we got a solid qualifying package, but in the race tonight it was good at the start, but then it started to die off towards the end. But yeah, it was good fun though.
And
what do you guys? Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, how's things going for you guys in the official series at the minute?
I haven't been racing in the official series at the moment because I've just been busy at work and motorbike riding and that, so it's been a bit tough for me to get online. So tonight's actually the first night I've actually come on and sat down and had a good race.
That's good to hear. Well, not good to hear you had a good race tonight anyway. Not that you can't get on. But the biking stuff, and we know you're heavily into that, so that's good that that's going nicely.
Hopefully I'll be heading over your way next season, so
that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I want to go over there and race the BSP Championship, so it should be good.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for you there, mate. But with this as well, your team in iRacing as well. What's the usual plan of action to attack a race? Then you've got a big team. What's the do you make one set that you all use, or do you make individual sets? How much practice do you do? Do you do practice races? Just take us through a little bit of that.
Oh well, this week we sort of this is my proper first week coming in practice, but this week we'll sort of just start off as a baseline set, and I think all of us boys we all make our own setups, and then we send them around to each other, and we see which one's best, and then whichever one I like I use, and then I just start tweaking it a little bit, and yeah, that's how I got my set this week. But I think that's all. Yeah.
So it's a bit like it's sort of a consensus, and then your own input as well to change to your own style. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Great
It's
input there.
a bit like all of us. We just make one set, send it around, whichever one feels the best we use, sort of thing, and then you can just tweak it from there or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, how does that differ from your bike racing then? What is there a baseline setup that you use, or do you come to a track with a setup? Do you come to that track with a team setup, or what do you do?
Oh, in the bikes, I've been actually pretty lucky because my brother was racing that bike last year, so I've just been using his setup and then just changing a little bit in the front end, changing the spring rate down or up or whatever it is in the rebound, and that's pretty much about it.
So you've already got a good. You're already quite quick then when you go to the track, and it's just about finding the extra little bits. I mean, it's always good if you can start a session.
I just find with my brothers on the bikes, my brother's setup I just found it wouldn't turn so good, so I just get my grandpa mechanic to change it, and he'd come back in and tell him it's all sweet. So yeah, it only normally takes me a few sessions to get the setup right, and then I can sort of put my head down and go and try and put some fast laps in.
That was the best way. I've just got one more question for you before Alex can take over. Are we going to see you much more for the rest of this season?
I'd like to get on it a bit more because like tonight was pretty fun. I was actually thinking of not going to race, but then I come into qualifying. I was like, I've got a good chance of going well in this race. So I thought, well, stuff. I'm not doing anything tonight, so I may as well race it.
I think, I mean, obviously Brands Hatch, Alton Park coming up. That might be good practice for you for next season.
Always enjoyed Alton Park, but I've actually never driven Brands Hatch. I've got it, but never driven it, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll try and get on next week for Alton Park. I'll see what happens. I'll check my calendar, see if I've got no racing on.
Yeah. Alex?
Cool. Well, I just want to wrap it up really and just say congratulations again, and anyone you want to sort of thank, sponsors and that.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the team. We've come together pretty well this season. Like, even though I haven't been here much, but I've seen all the results and that, so it's been pretty good. So yeah, I'd just like to thank all the boys in Rear Racing.
Cool. Alright, mate. Well, thanks very much. We look forward to seeing you in the last few rounds. We should be covering most. I think we're just going to miss one of the last 4. So.
Yep.
But yeah,
Alrighty,
have a good one.
Alright, thanks guys.
Yeah,
I'll
well
see you
done,
later.
mate.
Thanks.
Right, that just about wraps us up then, mate.
Indeed.
Great little
Been a
race.
pleasure.
Nice to hear from the guys. And we'll be back. We will be back next week. It's the week after that, I believe we're going to miss. And then we should be
Which
back
one's that
for the
then? So we're doing
next
Barber.
one. Yes,
Doing
we're doing the
Barber
next 2 weeks.
We're doing next week.
I think. Sorry, no, we're doing.
So Brands Hatch or Alton is it that we're missing?
Yeah, sorry, no, we're doing next week. Then we're missing one, and then we're back for the last round.
Last 2 rounds we're doing, are we?
I'll have to have a look. I'm not
We'll figure
100%
that out.
sure. It's all a bit awkward because of where it clashes with the World Championship Series. I'm still trying to qualify and get on the grid and things like that. So a few more people have dropped out of that, so might have the chance to get on do my first one. Can't turn that opportunity down.
No, of course not. Wish you all the best of luck with that. Yeah, it's been a good race today. We've had some good action, and that's just about all we've got time for, I think, with ARLTV. But well, from Andrew Woodhouse
And Alex Simpson, it's good night, goodbye. See you next week.
Yes.